Good afternoon, everyone. This is Arif Padaria, VP of Sales at RIZE. Welcome to the webinar. Thank you for taking time out of your days to attend the webinar. It's a wonderful day up here in Boston, and certainly I hope you all are staying safe and well, especially during these tough times. We are super excited to bring to you new offers, new opportunities, all the work that we've been putting together to create a bigger, better platform, materials, all of it, so that it can help us all drive 3D printing into the various aspects of academia, industry, life sciences, and beyond. I'm very happy to be joined by our CEO, Andy Columbi, with Tom Jackson, our sales rep, also is on the line, as well as Anthony Francis, who heads up support. So with that, I'd like to hand it off to Andy. Andy, would you please help kick it off? Thanks.
Thank you, Arif. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad that we are back again talking to you. Some of you we've been chatting with during the last 3 months. The COVID situation caught us all by surprise, but I think we've all been able to get through it. And of course, it's still ongoing, but hopefully, things will get better as we move forward. What we are here to talk to you about is a range of solutions that we are bringing to market, which will help you drive more revenue, more top line, more bottom line, much more engagement with your customers, as well as address possibly new customer segments. So next slide, please. The COVID-19 timeframe has been a very busy timeframe, as you can see for us. We were working with some of you as well on this, doing work to help the community by printing, shields and all kinds of PPEs, personal protection equipment. We were also working with some of our customers on some strategic projects which help in the COVID-19 situation. But more importantly, and equally importantly, I should say, not more importantly, equally importantly, we were also keeping the entire team working and staying productive on creating new products. And as a result of this hectic activity that has gone on for the last 3 months or 4 months, we have now new printers, new material, new solutions to offer to you and to the market. In the process also, we've discovered a new way to work, and we want to share that as a part of unveiling the solution, because we believe that this adaptive way of working will probably be the norm for a bit till we are through this crisis. And this is something you may want to share with your customers, as well as possibly even adopt it if you have not already yourselves. More about it as we go along. As a company, as you know, our focus has been on safety. We've wanted to make the additive manufacturing space much more safer for end users. At the same time, easy to use and affordable so that we can scale it across different users and applications. And once you have this, then you are able to create new experiences. And we said, hey, let's create an experience of an intelligent part, which would have information on it, color on it. And let's try to do things smarter and faster in terms of workflow, so that engineers' time would be less, wasted on non-value added activities. In the process, we've also discovered a few new business models that we can create with customers, which will really drive significant cost reductions. Now, this whole strategy has led us to what we are talking about today. Next slide, please, which is, the platform itself. You've been experiencing our platform. We talked a lot about APD, augmented polymer deposition, which is our patented process, which hybridizes filament-based extrusion and ink-based jetting. You're familiar with this. This has been in RIZE 1 and XRIZE. This was what enabled RIZE 1 to become the first, until now, the only UL Green Guard certified printer and materials. What it helped us do is address the problem of zero post-processing. One of the reasons why Zimmer Biomet bought us was because They were using Ultimakers, and the only reason they really bought us was because they wanted to get over this whole post-processing issue. Traceability with marking and QR codes. Companies like Azoth loved it, and especially the US Army. And full color, which has become a game changer, especially in academia. We have, very leading academic institutions now. Customers like L3 Harris, Keurig, all these companies have bought into this whole uh, value proposition that, hey, color should be mainstream. All parts should be in color. And it's not just, doing parts which were traditionally done in color. So that has been about our 3D printing platform. Today, we are going to extend that further by showing you how our material science platform can really drive a lot of value for you, because this is a continuous source of revenue for you. This is where our Rizium polymer really differentiates, and that was the reason why we got our safety certification. That's the reason why we've got our USP Class 6 certification for biocompatibility. And that's what makes us very unique in terms of material properties like moisture resistance and chemical resistance. We are probably the only material which has practically negligible moisture resistant. Every other 3D printing material suffers from this problem, and thereby making it really easy to use. In addition, of course, as you know, we make functional inks, and for those who are selling RIZE, you'll know that this is a big revenue generator. So release ink, marking ink, and our color ink CMYK. So that's really our portfolio, in terms of two platforms, and we'll talk a little bit about each of these platforms today. So next slide, please. Today, our launches are across the board. So we are going to talk about how on RIZE we have created a new material, Rizium glass fiber, which addresses some of the issues that we had earlier, at the same time creates new opportunities. We'll talk a little bit about, give you a sneak preview of a set of upgrades that are coming up in August, September. This will be available not just for the new machines, but also for existing machines. So you'll have an opportunity to re-engage with your customers and really get them upgraded. We'll talk today about this whole concept of an alliance that we have created, which is unique in this industry. Everyone tends to keep their materials close to their chest. We've said, hey, we've got a game-changing material with safety and low emissions. Let's share it with the industry. And what we've done is we've created this partnership with Sindo to create jointly new machines. And the first two machines we are talking about today, the first machine we are launching on June 25th, RIZE 2XC. The second machine we'll be launching, RIZE 7XC. We'll be launching early July. And you'll be starting to book orders and create revenues, new revenue streams on these machines. The third and a very exciting piece of our journey, and what we've been working on very closely, is for life sciences, especially for hospitals, teaching hospitals, medical device companies. These are what we call point of care applications, where what we have done is we have taken things like MRIs and CT scans and made them ready for printing in a direct scan to print application. And we'll talk more about this. And the last but not least is this new way of working, where we have found an ability to work and continually keep ourselves productive. And we believe this is something that we'd like to share as a best practice with the industry and help you guys sell more of 2XCs and RIZEs. So that's pretty much the agenda for today. Next slide, please. Of course, our focus areas continue to be the same: academia, industrials, and life sciences. And we'll talk more about each of these industrial and as focus areas, the applications, and what we should be selling into these areas and what differentiates us in a bit. But please remember that in each of these, we are making big strides. And again, more of it as we go through the session. So I'll turn it back to Arif. Arif, take us through, this exciting portfolio that we are about to launch and people I want to make money on.
Great. Thank you, Andy. Yes, absolutely. So I'm going to go through each of the pillars that Andy mentioned. The first one being the new materials and upgrades. And let me just jump right into the Rizium glass fiber material. This has, I won't read everything off the slide, but certainly highlight some aspects. The layer thickness on the X-RIZE is 250 as well as 125 microns, while on the 2XC and 7XC for glass fiber, we can go from 50 to 400 microns. Significant higher dimensional stability. Class 6 certification is in process. Again, a very safe material, as with everything that we've been doing, both chemically and water resistant. Available starting on July 30th and priced very competitively at $175 per spool. We already have detailed spec sheets for this, and we'll be able to send you that right after this presentation. Let me also touch upon our flagship product, X-RIZE. As Andy mentioned earlier, we have continued to make strides in bettering the solution that we have, color remaining the differentiator. Adding glass fiber to this mix certainly extends the portfolio of output that we can create. As you know, it's been available since late 2019 and has really been a very good money-making machine, as Tom made me put in there. Again, I think he's absolutely right. The potential for recurring revenue, again, is in multiple channels. Inks, of course, all the color inks, the support, as well as the mono ink, the various filaments, aspects of maintenance and support, training, installation, all these are available. As you'll also note, perhaps a number of you have, we have priced it even more competitively now at $39,995. And this is given that we continue to make, operational and manufacturing optimizations, which has allowed us to provide an even better value to both you and to the customer.
Hey, Arif, you're holding on to that turtle. Beautiful picture.
Thank you, Andy. Yeah, it's been a great hit.
Don't squeeze him too hard.
All right. I'll make sure. This continuing down the path of all the excitement here, Rizium Alliance, Andy mentioned it. I think this is really our ongoing strategy. As you know, the company was founded by material scientist Eugene Giller, who continues to tinker on and create even better, more optimal material for us as well as for our customers. We'll talk more about each of these platforms that we're delivering this material portfolio on in much greater detail. But what I wanted to do with this eye chart is really show you once again sort of the fundamental material science that's going on at RIZE and how we are able to bring this forth and drive it through. So I think this is really our one of the key pillars that we have. I will not go through this. All of these slides will be available to you. Some of these slides, it might be good opportunity for me to mention. Some of these slides are quite dense and informational, and I don't intend to have you read them or go through them, but we'll make them all available right after this presentation. Now, here is the really exciting part. This is the new platform. This is the RIZE 2XC. It's the world's first composite 3D printer designed for the adaptive workplace. I think a number of us now know and feel and use and deeply understand what an adaptive workspace is, a workplace is. It's both the home and the office. For a lot of us during the COVID times, this has morphed into one and the same. And given the safety and the ability of our printers to be installed at your homes, at your offices in a very safe way, this is how we are continuing down even with this platform. A very low cost entry point, under €4,500. It has a similar build size to the current RIZE platform, and of course uses all the composite materials that we talked about. I'll go into more details in the next slide here. Yes, it does have, of course, it's an FDM printer with dual nozzles. The build size is up there again for you to note, as well as, and importantly, a heated build plate. With auto leveling, as well as in this platform, we now have a monitoring camera, which allows us to remotely monitor your prints through smartphones, through your laptop, etc. Um, Again, usable on a variety of operating systems. The software is compatible, has a desktop as well as a cloud slicer. Now, this is really, I know what you're interested in is what are we going to offer this for and how are we going to make money? I think an important part is to note that none of the margins that you are enjoying today are going to change. Those existing margins will continue both on the printers as well as the materials. This is the price offer to customers. And we have an introductory price of 3995, which we will make available until July 31st, with an ongoing MSRP of 4495. Now, what this does include is a 1-year warranty as well as a starter kit. The starter kit will have the Rizium carbon material as well as the Rizium support material. I think it's important to mention here, because I know the question will probably come up, is how are you going to continue to provide ease of support removal? Now, in the X-RIZE and the RIZE 1, as you recall, we had inks doing the work for us, while in this case, we have developed material science, innovated on material science, and created a support material, which is wherein the dual extruder in this platform will be used. As you will also note on the bottom right, the consumables are very competitively priced, and we have the platform available with carbon, with glass fiber, as well as the support material. All of this is pretty much ready to go, and we will provide order forms, again, individually send them to you after our webinar. Let me also bring you to another exciting offer, which is a 5-pack customer offer. As you will note, given the price of this printer, it will make significant sense for customers to adopt these machines, to adopt this platform in multiples. And so we've put together an exciting 5-pack customer offer, wherein 5 material spools will be provided to you at no cost. And this will just improve, obviously, the margins for you. And again, this is available to order now. Again, I won't go through all the details on this one, but suffice it to say, I think we'll be seeing a lot more of these coming forward. Finally, especially for you partners, our esteemed partners and resellers, we've created an onboarding offer. This is also a 5-pack offer, but within this is a demo unit, packaged in a demo unit plus 4 customer units. What we intend to do with this is to allow you to have a demo unit and keep the 4 customer units as stock units at our facilities, at our headquarters, and ship them directly from our headquarters to customers. And primarily, this allows the shipping costs to be lowered on your end, rather than ship it back and forth. Of course, we are happy to do that as well. If you'd like to stock them directly and deliver them to your customers, we're happy to do that. But we figured we might as well provide yet another opportunity to make it easier to order these machines and get them delivered directly to your customers. What again is worth noting is 5 material spools are provided at no cost. We ask for an upfront payment of $12,000, and this includes the full payment of a demo unit. It also includes a very comprehensive spares kit, which I believe would be good to have on hand to do very local sort of break fixes, which I believe are very few and far between. But as we all know, it's good to have that kit in hand. And then it includes a 50% payment for the stock customer units. The remaining 50% payment will be due upon shipment of those machines. So once we receive the PO for those customer units, we will ship them to the customer within a week of that receipt. All of this happening after the first week of August. This is again a limited period offer until July 10th. So please note that. The second platform that I'm excited to tell you about is the 7XC. As you'll note from the build size, it's a larger build platform, under $20,000, and a true industrial workhorse. Once again, allowing us to use our Rizium composite materials and our Rizium platform on this machine. Similarly, it has a 1-year warranty. Here, similarly, are the details for that. A dual nozzle, the build size. As you will note, there are a number of other materials that can be used as well on this machine, as was with the 2XC. So it certainly extends the customer's portfolio as well. Full auto leveling, again, a flexible metallic heated bed, as well as HEPA filters. The offer for the 7XC is, it's your choice. You can order it as a demo unit, or you can order it and sell it right away as a customer unit. MSRP of $19,995. Again, no change to the existing margins. And we will have these available for delivery in late September, early October. We ask for a 50% upfront payment, and the remainder being payable upon shipment. You will note on the bottom right the MSRP prices for the spools. They are larger spools and thus reflect the pricing of the material. I apologize. I planned on putting the exact size of those spools, but I'm sure one of us will answer this as we go along, perhaps towards the end. And by the way, if I haven't already mentioned, please do keep your questions coming. We will monitor them and certainly start to answer them. We've allowed hopefully enough time that we can address your questions. One, of course, an important aspect of any new platform, any new machine, is how we're going to provide our customers true success and support. And this is our strategy. Each of those machines will include a 1-year warranty. We expect that any minor issues and simple part replacements, we have a number of videos that we will be putting up right through our website. So while they are YouTube videos and can be accessed from a variety of different sources, of course, you still have your platform and your ability to use it to access them through the RIZE platform, especially the RIZE partner platform. Major issues, in the unlikely event that there is a major issue, especially in the case of the 2XC, we'll provide you with service centers. I know a number of you are joining us from various geographies, and we can provide you the appropriate service center that you can return that to. Number of revenue opportunities outlined there, installation, training, support, and one important aspect I did want to point out is the customer support chain. The primary support can be delivered from your end through, pointing the customer to the web, to videos. You will, as our partners, be the first line of support. We stand behind you, solidly behind you, to provide that second line of support. Anthony is online today with me, and he heads up our support department, and he's always available, as is his team. And finally, we are then supported by our manufacturing partner, in this case, Sindo, fully to cover any issues with support, especially under warranty situations. We will also fully support both RIZE and Sindo materials. Now I'm going to invite Andy back to talk a bit and take us through some of the focus areas. As you know, we have 3 focus areas, and just to really laser point you towards where these solutions are applicable and how best we could drive them into our customer base.
Thank you. Academia has been a great shining star for us, as you know. We've won a lot of accounts, very prestigious names like Rutgers, Virginia Tech, a number of companies, academic institutions in the last few months. And in fact, even during these COVID times, the customers which have signed up recently with us right through these difficult period have been academic institutions. And what we have seen is that they're finding our color as a great value proposition in their labs. Also, they're people who are creating learning factories. Virginia Tech has created learning factories. So really our lead is the lead dog there is still XRIZE because of its color capabilities. And 2XC really offers a unique possibility of putting safety front and center in these labs, especially when you go to schools and colleges where there are numerous FDM printers, and yet, there is very poor venting and, all kinds of chemicals being used for post-processing. This is an excellent solution to replace all of them, and it's priced to perfection. Next. In terms of diversity of applications, we are seeing a lot of different kind of applications being tried out on both XRIZE and of course, hopefully soon with the 2XC. We really want color to become mainstream, and we are seeing its adoption in different schools beyond just the traditional medical, the traditional mechanical engineering faculty. With life sciences becoming front and center for us, we also see teaching hospitals as becoming big users, and we are likely to sign up very soon, I think within the next couple of weeks, a very premier Ivy League school, which is running a very, very established hospital. And we'll be talking very soon about that. But this is a big area to go after, especially with the launch of 2XC. Next slide, please. Our traditional area has got significantly strengthened, industrials. Here, we have been focused on design verification. We have customers like L3, Keurig, customers who have been using our solution for doing prototyping. And the difference we are providing now with color is that we are taking it beyond dumb prototyping to really intelligent parts, which will be able to drive verification not just of the form and fit, but also of functional characteristics which are seen with failure modes that can be mapped on to the part. So design verification is really getting a big boost, and we are basically changing the definition through our color parts. There's manufacturing tooling, and there's service parts, and these get a tremendous boost with 2XC and 7XC, especially because you're able to print in finer resolutions, you're able to print very large build volumes. So definitely these areas get significantly strengthened. Our differentiating factors remain both strength and durability. Remember, durability is a big topic. Most 3D printing companies don't talk about it because their materials are not truly durable. And I'll talk a bit about what that durability is. Color and health and safety, of course, remains. And there are numerous applications now that our customers have done. We have customers who have done jigs and fixtures, quality control, kind of inspection jigs. There are companies, including, by the way, our own contract manufacturer who uses our printers to do packaging and logistics. There's a whole range of worker safety tooling that is done. We work with Festo on this very interesting adaptive gripper that you see there. On the left-hand side, you can see tooling, especially these large jigs that you need on the shop floor. The new material GF glass fiber does it very well. In fact, one part that I'm showing you there on the left-hand side, on the extreme left below, is a part that was originally tried out on Stratasys machines, on one of the bigger Stratasys machines, and they just couldn't get the flatness on that size. So what they were doing were they were actually printing it and then machining it to get that flatness. And when we showed them how this part could be printed right out of the printer without the need of any machining, leave alone post-processing, they were very impressed. So it's opening up a whole slew of applications for you on the manufacturing shop floor. Next slide, please. On the life sciences area, which is our new push, we have been focused on areas like preclinical applications with customers like Merck. We have Zimmer Biomed, we have ConMed, Avanos. So we have a number of med device and pharma customers, and they like us because of our material and because of the lack of post-process, the zero post-processing, and because of our ability to do marking. Marking is very critical in FDA's process called document, describe, and identify. Now we are making a big push on anatomical models for pre-surgical applications and for patient and customer education. Our target solutions systems remain XRIZE because of its color capabilities and RIZE X 2XC and 7XC. And here really our material properties really stand out because they are because we are biocompatible. And there are other biocompatible materials in the market, but our strength lies in the cost performance and the special properties with respect to chemical resistance, especially in today's context where people want to uh, clean parts with acetone, disinfect them. Our material stands out because it cannot be attacked by any of these solvents. Next slide, please. So these are some of the applications you see that we are working on. We already talked about PPE, and by the way, these shields have been a big hit. I think you should take the designs and use it. It's for nothing else, but it creates a lot of goodwill. Pre-procedure planning is the big area that we're going after with point of care, where we want to help surgeons do surgeries with more accurate information about what's inside a CT MRI scan. And we're working also closely with med device companies here. We unveiled last year patient and family education activities with the Living Heart project, so that continues. And there's a whole range, as I said, of preclinical prototyping tools and jigs. Please understand the word preclinical. Preclinical means, and in today's COVID environment, you can understand it even better, unfortunately. You know that there are a number of vaccines that are being tried out, and all of them are going through testing. And that testing phase is the preclinical phase, where people are doing a lot of testing of different dosages, different kinds of usages across different uh, population segments, and all that requires a lot of uh, uh, parts to be created and a lot of traceability to be put in place. Next slide, please. One of a game-changing application that we are going to introduce very soon, and we're working on this. We've done 2 webinars which were very well attended. A game-changing application on a scan to print to patient, which means that today a scan, when it is to be printed for a surgeon to get an anatomical model, takes days and takes hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars. Now with an automation and using an AI-enabled tool with a partnership with Synopsys, we are going to shrink that to less than a day, sometimes just overnight build, and sometimes less than $100. So this is a game-changing application. We've previewed this with surgeons and with medical device companies, and it takes away a lot of the pain that they currently have. Let's take a look at the software itself and the solution. So you're familiar with some of the things that we do in our software, and I'll show you how it links up. What happens is that you take an image, just go back please for a minute. You take the image, process it in a software that Simpleware creates, and there's an AI-driven tool which enables you to take that and do what is called segmentation, which is basically removing the soft tissues and all the other things associated with the bone, and just exposing the bone as a model. And again, that model is in full color, and then be able to print it out. Next slide, please. Show you a quick demo of this solution. This is the MRI scan, which goes into the software that Simpleware has. You see the speed at which processes in virtually in seconds and minutes, something that would take hours and sometimes days to do with manual effort. And this is where the hip, this is a hip bone, and you see the colors. You see what is called landmarking, which means it indicates many things that a surgeon needs for performing a surgery. And what we do is we take that, and you see on the left hand side there's a Z button that was our link to our software, OneTouch. And this is now in our software, OneTouch, in full color, and you can print it exactly the way you saw it. And you see the models on the right. These are the printed models, and this is done in literally in hours with almost no mediation from a person perspective. Keep going, please. So there is a lot that we are bringing to the table, some which is immediately available, like 2XC, and some which will be available within the next couple of weeks. So GF will be available in July, 7XC will be available early July, and the portfolio from Simpleware together with our solution, the end-to-end solution, will be available most probably by the end of July or early August in terms of selling. But I'll turn that back to Arif. Arif, maybe you want to just emphasize on these again.
Thank you so much, Andy. Thanks, that was very informative. I do want to re-emphasize some of these points. Certainly, we've mentioned the availability of the 2XC, the 7XC, and of course, glass fiber. Technical training, especially for the 2XC and 7XC, is already ready and will be provided through webs and videos shortly. I would kindly ask that everyone, all our partners, keep the SharpSpring CRM that we have up to date. If you have any troubles accessing that or using that, you can always send us an Excel spreadsheet with your customer names in there, and so that we can lock in the deals for you. I also mention it because it's important in helping us forecast the demand so that we can make sure we have these units available in a timely fashion. We need to order them from Asia, and we want to continue to delight both you, our partners, as well as our customers. And so to avoid any hiccups, it would be certainly good to have that in hand. As well as ordering and stocking units. As we mentioned in one of we would love to stock some units for you at the get-go so that we can all get going. And as the journey begins and continues, we can then get even further, better optimized for the supply chain. So finally, let me see here. Yeah, I think you have my contact. I think you probably also have Tom's contact. I'm throwing it up there. We'll send out these slides to you, make them available to you. I think what we also wanted to do is answer some of the questions that have been coming to us from you. So take an opportunity to do that, as well as I know that perhaps Anthony is available to show you, to do a show and tell. Anthony, are you around?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Now we can even see you. Hi, Anthony.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, so
before Anthony starts, let me just, Anthony, just give me a moment to introduce.
Sure.
Anthony, along with virtually every team member of RIZE from the engineering side, carried a printer back home in early March. In fact, the week that we announced here in Massachusetts a lockdown. And what we set up is a way of working virtually where everyone could continue working from home while operating their printer. And that's how we have been able to release all these new products. So this is Anthony speaking from his home. Anthony, it's all you.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, so as Andy said, back in early March, everyone from engineering took their printer home, and we've been operating that way. So I have an X-RIZE.
Anthony, you cut out.
Anthony, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
All right. And now I'm currently printing the Synopsys medical parts in our new glass fiber material. I don't know if you guys can see the printer going, but we've seen a lot of very high quality parts come out of the machine in our new material. So hopefully everyone is excited to start running that material through their machines.
Super. Thanks, Anthony. It looks really great.
Great. So this is what we call the adaptive workplace. And the whole idea of this adaptive workplace is that not only can you continue working, but this team, along with Anthony, by the way, have been amazing in supporting the community. I had an opportunity to go with Anthony to a hospital and actually donate shields. I had to drive 50 miles. I don't know, you probably had to drive a little less. And it was really heartening to go and meet these very brave people who are helping, who are at the front lines of this COVID battle. So really kept everyone motivated to continue working as well as contributing. Okay, over back to you, Arif.
Thanks, Anthony. Thanks, Andy. I think we do have some time. So go ahead. Is that Tom?
Yeah, we do have some questions if you're ready for that.
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead, Tom. Thanks.
Let's see the first one. Will the RIZE one be phased out with the addition of the 2X and 7XC?
So at this point of time, we are continuing with RIZE 1, but the fact is that we see that people are more attracted to full color rather than just single color. There were customers who did not want color, who didn't care for color and marking. And for them, of course, we have now 2XC and 7XC, especially 2XC because it's fairly similar in terms of build volume and prints composite. For those who really want color, what we did was we have reduced the price of X-RIZE to bring it closer to the RIZE 1. So at this point of time, we have not, we still have a few machines in stock. We could technically produce it, but we would prefer to go guide customers towards either X-RIZE or towards 2XC and 7XC.
Okay, it looks like there's another question here. Can we get specification sheets for the 2X and 7XC?
Yes, they will all be ready and on our website on the 25th. Maybe Tom, you can advance some early copies as well.
Sure. Let's see another one. Will there be a customer webinar announcing the 2 new printers?
Yes, we will make announcements. We have planned that just because we are heading into the July 4th holiday period, we were planning to do it early, just after that week, maybe in the week of July 8th or thereabouts. And we are happy to work with each of you as our partners to do specific webinars that you may like to do to your installed basis.
Okay, looks like we got one more here. Can we get a copy of the price list and quotes? And we may have already answered that.
I'll let Arif answer that.
Absolutely. It's all pretty much ready to go. Either through Tom or through me, we'll have it sent to you. And yeah, later today or first thing tomorrow.
I want to emphasize one thing, Tom, in case the question was not asked, is I want you guys to see this as an opportunity to drive materials revenue. Now we have 4 machines to drive. We have doubled the number of machines that you can use to drive material revenue. And remember, the RIZE 2xe consumes as much material as the RIZE 1 does, except that it doesn't consume inks, but it consumes the same amount of Rizium material. And this is a very significant revenue stream. It has been building up for us in recent times, and we are happy to see the kind of revenue that it generates. Also, it is relatively low touch in terms of sales efforts. So please see this as that. And also please make sure that you understand the 3 topics very well. We have a separate presentation. We didn't cover it in today's session, but we have a separate presentation which talks about strength, durability, and safety, and how we compare with all the other materials in the market and all the other printers in the market. So you will see that we don't necessarily have to fight head to head with companies like Markforged and Ultimakers and others, because we have a place of our own.
I think that's an important point, as well as I just want to, worth perhaps repeating, we'll have battle cards as well ready. I know I saw a question which talks about differences between different machines and even between our own machines. We have that available, and we'll be sending those out to you as well. I know another question I saw is, will sample kits be sent? Yes, indeed, we're working on those, especially for the 2XC and the 7XC, and we'll have sample kits available that we can send to you. There's already a lot of photographs, pictures, videos, etc., that we are readying up. We wanted to give you all the first preview before we make an official launch of this platform, the RIZE Alliance, the Rizium Alliance, and all of the aspects we've talked about. But soon thereafter, soon after the official announcement on the 25th, we'll turn on the web channels and go live with our web properties and assets. So I do want to mention that we've collected and have ready to go assets that you as partners we can send to, so that you can incorporate them into your own web and other platforms as well.
We have another question here. Are the units available without Wi-Fi or internet access? And I assume that's directed towards government and that type of accounts.
Yeah, I'll have to check back and see. Anthony, unless you know the answer, is it easy enough to turn off the Wi-Fi and Ethernet access on the 2XC and the 7XC? Anthony?
Sorry, I don't believe so. I'll have to check into that though.
Okay, we'll get back to you on that one.
Let's see, I think there was one more here. What's the difference between the 2XC and the XRIZE? And I'll let you take that, or if there's significant differences there.
Yeah, I think we'll address all of those in those battle cards and comparison sets.
No, this was a simple one. 2XC, he's talking about 2XC and XRIZE. I think the big difference is that XRIZE is APD, which means that it has inks in it, and it has the ability to do full color, as well as the release inks that we talk about. On the 2XC, it has no colors, no inks. It is just focused on Rizium materials, the portfolio. It still runs the same materials. To compensate for the inks, the release ink, we have created Rizium support, which is a easy way to remove supports. So, and then in terms of size, I think roughly you could say their build volume are roughly the same. The one thing about XRIZE is, of course, it has got a heated build chamber, not just a heated plate. So that creates a certain level of differentiation as well. But I would say the biggest differentiation is color in general.
We have another good question. What is the date that the XRIZE will officially change in MSRP?
The MSRP is effective immediate. So you can do quotes as of today on the new pricing. The upgrades that I mentioned are just technical upgrades that will be made available. They will be made available not just for, and we just previewed that with you, but it is not going to make any material change for customers, because anyone who also has currently an RIZE will get a free upgrade of all of that.
Is Rhizium support water soluble, or does it require sodium hydroxide?
Rhizium support is not water soluble, because we don't believe in chemicals and chemical based processing. It creates risk. Rhizium support comes out just like the way our current support comes out. It just cleanly comes out from the part, and we can show it to you maybe in a subsequent call.
Okay,
So there is no
I
need to
think,
do any water soluble there.
I think that is the end of the questions.
Okay, I do want to make one more thing.
There's one
As
more
a
question. Hang on,
Yeah.
sorry, there's one more question. Do you have medical grade material and autoclave procedure sterilization?
Okay, I'll answer that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So our material is biocompatible. It's USP class 6 for RIZE 1, and we have made applications for the rest of the portfolio as well. But the base material is the same, so we are quite confident that it'll meet the needs. What's important is we follow a different process for sterilization. We are not autoclavable because our material does not operate at that temperature from an HDT perspective. We use what is called gamma sterilization, which is a cold sterilization process for doing sterilization.
Great, thank you, Andy. I think that was the last of the questions that I saw. Unless you have any more, Tom?
One last one I had is, what is the new MSRP for the RIZE?
Oh, I think we answered that. It's the new MSRP. Oh, yeah, that one. Let me just pop up the slide again. Might be the easiest way. Sorry, going all the way back. There it is.
Next one, please.
Yep.
Next one.
Okay. 39,995. That includes the starter kit.
And we'll send you the
Okay.
turtle along with it.
Yeah. Good one, Andy.
That's all we got.
Anything else? Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for your attentiveness. Thank you for taking time out of your days. I hope you're all excited as we are, to get started on this journey and continuing this journey with us. So thanks a lot. And we look forward to any additional questions. Please email myself and Tom, and we'd be happy to answer. As I said, we'll provide you with these materials soon after this. And we look forward to your continued partnership. Thank you so much.
Bye for now.
Bye. Bye-bye.